we do have it right here. So on the red team, we have Radioactive here, and on the blue team, the team that knocked Apex out 2-0. Pretty decidedly, actually. I mean, the first game, we actually saw them taking it 500 to 350. Second game, doing it pretty handedly as well, kind of came back. Apex was doing pretty solid in the beginning, but they managed to get a 2-cap going in their favor. And held it out long enough to get a Lord push, and Booty Bakery was able to get that Lord push and take that game on Legacy there. So, I mean, that's huge for them. They're knocking out Apex to get into the top 8. That's a huge deal. I mean, I can't really say enough about that. But let's go ahead. Storm, why don't you take it away with the red team builds here?
Yeah, we got Radioactive here on the red team. Let's take a look at OPN first. He's going to be playing the Power Necro as per usual. Nothing too special about what he's going to be running with the Dagger, Axe, Warhorn, running with Runes of the Pack, Berserker Amulet, running the 62006. Obviously running Death's Embrace as well with the Double Wells and the Lich. Pretty standard for him. Nothing too special whatsoever. Next up we got Ready Made. He's going to be playing the Staff Ellie for this team. Looks like he's going to be taking Rune of Melandru, running with the Celestial Amulet, running 00266. Next up we got Genyan, who's going to be playing the Shoutbow for this team with the Sword, Warhorn, Longbow, running with Soldier Runes, running 10463. Very surprised to see him on Shoutbow still. I had expected him to go back to the Condi Ranger that he has been practicing up over the last few weeks, but I guess they're deciding to go with the double Shoutbow. It seems perhaps they feel that's a little bit stronger for their team comp. Trickshotting, or Ferox rather, is going to be playing the Selly Rifle NG for this team with Vamp Runes, running 60044. And finally, Christ is going to be playing the second Shoutbow for this team with the Sword, Warhorn, Longbow, Soldier Runes. He's going to be running 10463. So fairly standard team comp for this team. A lot of sustain coming out from all 5 members aside from OPN. Even OPN can get out of certain situations. We'll have to see how his team is going to be able to support him here, as they only have 1 Zerker and 4 Selly on this team. So like I said, a lot of sustain coming out for Radioactive. OPN really being the only team member who can burst somebody down from this team.
And moving on to the underdog team here, we are going to look ahead onto this Booty Bakery team. We look at Hibify first. Hiba is going to be running a Celestial Rifle engine here with Rune of the Vampirism. He's going to be running 60062, opting for that 6 in Alchemy build, something that we've seen a lot of lately. And moving on now to Mime. Mime's going to be running, it looks like Great Sword, Sword Torch, as well as Rune of the Pack, and Berserker Amulet. He's going to be running Shatter here, 44006, obviously very standard there as well with the Portal and the MOA. Moving on now to Happy Kid. Happy Kid, one of 2 members of Apex's previous roster now that have taken down Apex in the round of 16. He's going to be running Panic Strike with Vamp Rooms here, and it's a trait setup of 60206. Also standard utilities there. H-Man now moving, going forward as well over Apex once again. This is the second player from the Apex roster that joined this new roster, Booty Bakery, with some friends here with Hiba and Kodo, as well as Mime here, to take on Apex and beat their old team here. He's going to be running Sword, Warhorn, and Longbow. This is going to be the Shoutbow build. He's got Rune of the Soldier and Celestial Amulet. He's going to be running 10463 with his traits. And finally here we do have Kodo. Kodo's going to be running Dagger Elementalist. He's got Rune of the Hullbrack and Celestial Amulet with a trait setup of 00266.
Yeah, both these teams, really strong players on both of them. Like you said, Booty Bakery able to take out Apex in the previous round, so really excited to see what these two teams are going to be bringing to the table. This one is definitely up in the air. Like I said, really strong players known in this PvP scene on NA servers, so excited for this matchup. This is definitely one to watch out for.
Yeah, I have to agree. And for anyone listening in right now and not really sure what we're talking about, this blue team here actually did knock out someone that was a team that was considered to be a top 4 seed. One of the teams that was actually considered to be able to contend with the Abjured here for the top spot, alongside teams like Risk, etc. And you know, they beat them out. I mean, that's a huge thing for them. They were able to do, and we're going to look to see how they're going to go from that and now taking on a team like Radioactive in this first game here. Now, what's going on with the splits here, Storm?
Take a look at the opening splits. Looks like Booty Bakery going to be pushing for the 3-point. We got Happy Kid and Mine stealthing up here, trying to make a push for the mine point. A little bit of a passive play coming out from Radioactive, knowing that there's probably going to be crossers, so they're going to send 3 people back. Oh, 3 people actually going to go back to the mid node, and now they're moving back, but it looks like Genyon getting destroyed over at the mine point.
Yeah, if we look at the mine point right now, we actually see, like you say, the MOA coming out from Genyon. Genyon actually accepting the banner there as Trickshotting and Crisis comes in. Crisis gets the banner off. We actually see the Lich coming out from OPN. OPN going to go ahead and chase out members of the blue team here. H-Man immobilized right now, but the SR comes out. He's probably going to be safe. They might be able to pull back over to the mid fight, where it looks like we actually have a little bit of a 1v1 between Ready Made and Kodo. Kodo has a little bit of an advantage there as Hiba was able to move over and provide some support. Blue team with a lot of control right now. However, H-Man is going to be dropping to the downstate. H-Man down right now. Mime going for the res, but he's getting completely cleaved right now. He's so low. Looks like H-Man got banished off a little knockback with the NG there, thrown off to the side. Looks like blue team going for the res, and they do manage to get that. However, Mime is so low right now. If we look here, he's about 10%, 20% HP right now, forced to teleport up. It looks like Kodo getting off a ton of heals for his teammate there, but once again, we actually see Mime very, very low here, forced to kind of just get some greatsword range pressure here, try to do some range shatters, obviously a lot less pressure than what he's more capable of doing, obviously from a more aggressive standpoint there, but it looks like right now, red team looking pretty strong.
Yeah, red team, it looks like OPN is taken down in this fight over at steps, back up into it. This 4-Selly comp coming out from this team really allows them to get their members back into the fight after they are taken in downstate. Kodo under a lot of pressure right now, able to get out of the fight, but still only 1 point ticking for the team Radioactive right now, trying to build a small lead at the early stages of this game.
Yeah, OPN does drop in the downstate, does get stomped out here. Looks like now Trickshotting down as well. Ready Made is very low, forced to kind of pull out here. He's trying to come back in to support his teammates, but he's so low, and he does get dropped here. So blue team winning this fight at the keep here. This is huge for them. They're going to be able to get this keep node decapped here, and they're going to go for the cap over time here. It looks like Trickshotting just tried to delay that as much as he possibly can here. But however, if we look at this mine fight right now, we actually see Genyon as well as H-Man. Once again, Genyon and H-Man were also past teammates at one point. Genyon playing for Apex as a sub, I believe, at one point for some ESL. So these are 2 players that have played together as well. I mean, that's a big thing in NA, obviously. A lot of these players have played together at some point or another.
Yeah, the blue team, it looks like, yeah, Booty Baker, you're going to be taking the 2 cap after winning that fight at the keep. That's pretty good for them. It looks like Radioactive, they are going to force, looks like H-Man off of this mine point. Regrouping here is the best thing they can do before it gets out of hand. So capping this and moving on to the midpoint, possibly trying to take out a member of Booty Bakery is what they need to do to get back into this and try to get a 2 cap.
Yeah, and with red team, they really need to get something going here very, very quickly, or else they're going to be in a lot of trouble. If we look here actually at H-Man dropping into downstate. H-Man in a 4v1 right here, it doesn't look like he was going to be able to do anything to help out his teammate here, so they're going to be able to get that stomp and move into the keep, where it looks like Crisis moving up the top side there. As you can see on the mini-map, it looks like Ready Made going for the point here, and it looks like he is going to move in it. It looks like we actually see Kodo able to stay there. I don't think he's going to be able to get a decap anytime soon there, so we're probably going to see a little bit of a 2v2 happening as the portal does see Hiba coming through as well. Ready Made trying to get some pressure down. The Lich does come out here from the red team. OPN does pop that Lich, trying to get some pressure on Hiba right now, but that Lich just really isn't working as well for them right now. Looks like Hiba able to get off a lot of blocks on that right now. However, OPN is all over him. Hiba is at about 10% right now. Looks like OPN is getting pressured here by Kodo, and it looks like Genyon actually off point. Genyon on the mine point was able to be taken down, as you can see on your screen here, and it looks like he's going to be gone. So blue team now getting something going for themselves. However, if you look at this keep fight right now, Hiba's back in it, and they're putting pressure down on OPN, and they drop OPN, and the crate comes down, and it looks like they're just going to go for the cleave. Looks like Ready Made's trying to get something going, but the pressure is just too strong from both Selly members of this blue team here, and they're going to be able to cleave out OPN here and get control of this node once again, and they do already have that 2 cap from the side nodes. Looks like they're going to be controlling that mine fight, as you can see the PIP here, and it looks pretty good for this blue team, able to turn this back around for themselves.
Yeah, we do have Genyon coming off a respawn, trying to get the decap over at the henge. OPN going to come out of the front gate, try to make his way over to the mine point, but Ferox already in the downstate here. Blue team taking the 2 cap once again. We're probably going to see Radioactive take the cap over at the henge, but starting to build up towards a 100-point lead for Booty Bakery. They're looking pretty strong about 5 minutes into this game, and Radioactive really need to group up here, push for a team fight, and win it to actually get a 2 cap and get back into this.
Yeah, we actually saw in the picture-in-picture there as well. We saw the decap coming from the red team and able to get the full cap back onto the far node for themselves there. So they do have that cap going in their favor. It looks like Kodo trying to put some pressure down on Ready Made right now, trying to slow them down from getting over to that keep node right there at the top side of the mini-map. It looks like all members of both teams here trying to make a move towards that. OPN trying to get some decap scores here, try to get some control of that node. Looks like Ready Made doing the same, putting some damage down on Kodo. Kodo accepting a lot of that right there, and he's very, very low. If we look at Kodo right now, he's trying to peel out with everything he's got here, but it looks like OPN is all over him. However, OPN is super low as well. OPN could go down at any point as well. This could be a rally race. We actually see OPN dropping now. If we look here, and he's on the point, he does get bannered, but he gets dropped once again. The damage comes right back down from Mime here. It looks like another banner gets dropped there,
Whoa.
And it's not enough.
That
and
banner.
OPN out of the match here.
They just double bannered right there. They double bannered and managed to get him up once. The second one that came down didn't actually look like it got him up whatsoever. So 2 huge cooldowns coming out from both these warriors here are going to be, that's really going to hurt them for future team fights. And despite that, they had him for that team fight and still didn't manage to get a res or anything. So not really looking good whatsoever for Radioactive as we see Kodo going back to the henge point, going to get that full cap. We don't see Radioactive having a point. H-Man going to be in a 1v2 over at the henge. Wells coming out from OPN. This isn't looking good for Radioactive. I expected a little bit better of an opening coming out from them.
They did get a little bonus there on accident. It looks like Happy Kid got the Vamp runes very low, and he jumped off the stairs there and killed himself. I actually went ahead and showed that on the screen just to make sure everybody saw that he was out there. So that actually is going to solidify the fight there for Radioactive. A little slip-up from Happy Kid did really put that in there. So if we look over at this mine fight, though, where we actually see H-Man being taken out by the Lich here, OPN once again putting some pressure down on H-Man here. And
I don't know about that.
Controlling the node as well. This is a 2-cap now once again for the red.
That 2v1 Lich, they just used 2 banners in that mid fight, and then OPN just liched, and that Lich is off cooldown for another 3 minutes here. I'm not so sure that was the wisest decision. I think they forced H-Man out of that fight regardless, but they are going to be taking the 2-cap, pushing hard over to the henge point, knowing they need to if they want to get back in this. So they get the decap, it's going to be really good for them fighting onto this point. If they can keep this blue team over at the henge point, not allowing them to get this cap, it's going to look really good for them in the future minutes.
Yeah, it looks like Kodo is one of the hard targets here for Team Radioactive. It looks like he's always kind of the person that they're looking at, the person that they're going for. OPN always really right on top of him, and he's very, very low right now. He does get taken out. Looks like H-Man going for something here. He might go for the banner here, but it doesn't look like it's going to be dropped here, and it looks like Kodo does get... Ooh, the banner does not work. The banner does not work. The poison is already on him, but Mime is able to be there right where Kodo does drop the Vapor, and it looks like he's going to be able to get the res there. So he's going to be back in the fight. However, he's at 50% health, and he doesn't really have a lot of cooldowns once he gets out of this water rotation.
Look at Happy
here.
Kid, though. Happy Kid, though. He's making a push for the mine. He bailed out of that fight, and they're going to let them get the 3-cap. Happy Kid going to be chased. Looks like Ganyon's going to be on his tail, probably going to get the decap over at the henge, so it's going to be back to the 2-cap and a decap here, but no one for the blue team, red team, even around the midpoint, probably going to end up getting that decap as well. So despite losing that henge fight, they ended up being in a better position than they were before, as they have 2 decaps now rather than just 1. Still, Radioactive definitely getting back into this game. This is exactly what they needed.
Yeah, I have to completely agree here. Red team with that 3-cap there was huge for them. They were able to definitely accrue a lot of the points that they were seeing a little bit of a deficit, and the portal actually comes out. Mime going through it as well as Happy Kid. Looks like they're going to try to put some damage down on Crisis here. Looks like Crisis being able to get a good Fear Me Off and negate some of that at least, but there's a lot of Vuln stacks on him, so if he can't, he does manage to get him off. He's actually immobilized there, so he's going to be dropping here in just a matter of time, and there he goes. He is downstate. Mime going to go for the stomp, and it looks like he is going to get him, so if they can take out trick shotting very, very quickly before we actually see Ganyon being able to move in, this is going to be huge for them, and they do get off so much damage burst there. Vampires and Runes saving him for the time being, but they're going to be able to follow up very, very shortly here for sure and take him out. But Ganyon is right here. We're going to have to see if Ganyon might go for the banner if there's enough time. He has 5 seconds left on his cooldown. Looks like Red Team is trying to cycle over and do something about this. Not sure if H-Man knows full well if OPN is sliding over to that keep node at the moment. Looks like that might turn into a 1v1 here. However, we do see trick shotting dropping into the downstate here. We actually see Ganyon dropping as well. Blue team cleaving out the members there, but Crisis comes in with the huge banner, able to get both of them up. The second banner comes down, picking trick-shotting up for the second time. However, there's just so much damage being dropped right now, so much cleave here from all members of the blue team. Yeah, OPN did manage to slide that over.
There's a decap at the midpoint. Ganyan also taken out on hand, does get rest, so this is really looking good for them. They are going to get back into this game and take a lead. Now, if they can hold on to this 2-cap and that decap at the midpoint, we do see, looks like Happy Kid going to piece out. Actually, looks like all of Booty Baker are going to piece out of the henge node, seeing as they're not going to get that anytime soon. Happy Kid going for decap over at the mine. That's really going to help them. Booty Bakery needs to win a team fight if they want to win this game, but Radioactive coming back strong after being down over 100 points.
Yeah, OPN doing a pretty good job in this 1v1 with H-Man right now. Looks like members of both teams are going to try to come over and +1 that. Like you say, Happy Kid able to get the decap off right now. However, it looks like the red team's Elementalist there, Ready Made, is able to come in. Looks like Happy Kid's going to go ahead and peel out. There still is that fight on Henge, a little 2v2 happening right now, but it looks like for the most part on this keep node, we actually see OPN being taken out here. Ganyan accepting some pressure as well. Looks like he's going to be forced out in just a matter of time here. He's at about 10% health, going to try to peel out, but Mime is all over him as well as Happy Kid. They're going to follow him out. I definitely expect them to go ahead and get another kill there as well. If we look over at this Henge node, however, we actually see a little fight going on here as well. Kodo and Hibify in a 2v2 right now with Crisis and Trick-Shotting here.
Yeah, this is looking really good for Radioactive. It is a 1-cap in each team's favor, but only about 90 more points for Radioactive to take this game. Wouldn't be surprised if this came down to the boss fights at the last seconds, but a fight is going to be emerging over at the Henge. That is the only decap point. Trick-Shotting getting super low. Ganyan is going to die here. Trick-Shotting taken out here. Booty Bakery looking strong at this point in time. If they're able to take this Henge point, they could win this game still without even going for the bosses.
Yeah, it looks like OPN here trying to put some pressure down. Crisis is looking pretty healthy as well. Looks like Kodo trying to get something going. They do manage to take Trick-Shotting out of the fight here. Hiba is very, very, very low right now, though. Looks like they're trying to get some damage down on OPN, and he's out of life force. He has no heals. So many Condis on him right now. 25 stacks of Vulna as well, so he's getting bursted down, dropped into the downstate here. Hiba, once again, very low, but able to get off a huge heal and take out Crisis and the process. That's another big fight for Blue Team. Potentially able to turn this if they can take out Guinea as well as he cycles in here. They're going to be able to take this point, get it 2-cap, rolling for themselves, put them on staggered respawns, and maybe turn this back around. And yes,
we did see that Radioactive had the Henge capped, but it looked like Crisis was mowed and forced off the point, got the decap, and we do see both teams over at Chieftain. Blue team has more burst potential, only Trick-Shotting. Oh, we see Booty Bakery able to get the kill, up 10 points right now, but look over at Spawn here, where we have only the red team here. I don't think they're going to get... I think we're going to see this Spawnier going in favor of Radioactive if Booty Bakery doesn't get over here. H-Man is in the area, but he's the only person for Booty Bakery over here.
The Lich does come out. Looks like red team going for it right now. If they can just keep it alive for just a matter of time. Oh, the 2-cap saves blue team. They take this game 500-1 to 499. I can't believe this. That they actually, red team did manage to get that kill. However, the 2-cap saves the day in the last second there, able to get them that one last point there over Radioactive. So blue team, Booty Bakery, the team to take out Apex, taking game 1 with just 1 point to spare over Team Radioactive there.
That was really crazy. We saw it looked like Booty Bakery able to take the 2-cap at the last second there, able to get just enough points. If they hadn't got that 2-cap, the kill still would have went in favor of Radioactive, and they would have won that game, taking the point. It would have been like the opposite would have been like 501 in favor of Radioactive to 499. But that 2-cap really solidified the victory coming out for Booty Bakery. That was a crazy ending.
Yeah, that's absolutely huge. Why don't we go back into the game cams as we do have the next map ready to go for you guys. Looks like right now we have both teams ready, getting ready to go ahead and get the next match going. What do you expect from this map here? We saw, I think at this point we could easily say that it's a toss-up. I mean, both teams are so good. Red team doing a great job in a lot of that. But honestly, if I'm going to have to go ahead and put my money on anything, I'm going to say this blue team, Booty Bakery, coming out of nowhere and really proving what they're worth. I mean, they have 2 members of the past Apex roster, H-Man as well as Happy Kid. Hiba, obviously one of the bigger names, was a part of Cheese Mode at one time, has been around the competitive scene for quite some time. Kodo in my opinion, one of the better DDLEs out there right now in the NA scene, and Mime, obviously, a very, very experienced Mesmer as well. I mean, this team is very, very solid. Whether you guys know about the team or not, this is a great roster here. I think that they're going to be able to take this and take this game 2 over Radioactive. What do you think?
I'm thinking that we're going to see Booty Bakery taking this game number 2. They threw over a 100-point lead, allowing Radioactive to get back into the game. I don't think we're going to see the same mistakes coming out from them on Legacy of the Faux Fire here. I think they just had a couple of hiccups mid-game, allowing Radioactive to get multiple 2-caps into D-cap and just kind of overtake that map to get back into it. I don't think we're going to see the same thing. I think we're going to see Booty Bakery more or less win by at least 100 points on this game, on this next match, that is.
Yeah, it looks like both teams going to go ahead and try to get ready. It looks like maybe we have a little bit of a lag issue. Sorry about that. On our side, everything is clear, so at this point, it's only safe to assume that it is Twitch. So at this point, what I can suggest to everyone, if you guys can at least still hear, you know, at this point, go ahead and click on the little wrench at the bottom right of the stream. Go ahead and report it, and hopefully we can get enough viewership at that point to go ahead and get the at least a temporary video quality option for you guys. Everything is on our end is completely fine though. So at this point, we can only assume that it is Twitch. So go ahead and, like I said, report that so that we can go ahead and get the stream quality options for you. Hopefully that happens. But like I said, it's all clear on our end.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this game number 2. Radioactive definitely could take it, don't get me wrong, but just seeing in the last series there, Booty Bakery looking really strong up until about halfway into that game where Radioactive made an impressive comeback, but I think most of that was, you know, I give credit to Radioactive, no doubt, but there were definitely a few hiccups for Booty Bakery that allowed Radioactive to win some fights that they really weren't winning within the first few minutes of the game. We didn't see any team fights going in favor of Radioactive. I'm interested to see what opening splits we're going to have from both teams and if we're going to have Radioactive change anything up and make a push for 3 points. Seeing as they are running 4 Celestial Amulets, that's probably the smarter choice on their end.
Yeah, I have to agree. It looks like both teams just about ready to go. We're waiting on one person from each team. We actually see blue team going ahead and get full ready up. So just in a matter of time here, we're going to be underway with Game 2 of the first round of 8 match today for the North American Tournament Legends 3 here for you on Saturday here, hosted by Digital Pro Sports. Once again, I am Hurix. Joining me today is Storm. In case you guys just joined, we are casting for you today. And this is Game 2 of the first round of 8 match that we're going to be streaming for you today. In case you guys are new to watching this a little bit, we are going to be streaming 2 round of 8s. Obviously, this is the first one in that series. We're going to be streaming both semifinals, all of which are best of 3, and the finals will be a best of 5 there right after that, which obviously will be streamed as well.
Yep, and it looks like we do have this game number 2 underway for you folks. If we do see Booty Bakery winning this game, they will be moving on into the semifinals to face an unknown opponent here. But let's take a look at what we've got for this second match on Legacy of the Faux Fire. What do we have here, Hurix?
Looking at it right now, we can actually see, looking at it, we actually see a little bit of an aggressive play from blue team. It looks like Radioactive being a little bit more reserved. It seems like we actually see a stealth play happening from both the Mesmer and the Thief, as expected here. Happy Kid and Mime more than likely going to open up burst on the far point here, which is going to be Ginyan. If we look at it once again, I mean, this is going to potentially be the same thing as the last map here. The MOA does come out once again. Ginyan able to get some good evades off of it. Looks like Happy Kid trying to follow suit with some pressure here. They're probably going to be able to take him out in just a matter of time. The Heartseeker does finish him off, so Ginyan once again downstate here as Mime gets control of the node. They're going to go ahead and cleave him out. However, if we look at the mid fight, we can actually see H-Man in a 1v2 with Ready Made and OPN here, not able to really get anything going for themselves here. The Lich does come out once again on H-Man. OPN, I think if we had a statistics board for how many times he opens with the Lich onto H-Man, like personally, I think it would be a running standard of about 100%.
Oh, he's taken out though. He is taken out though. It looks like H-Man and OPN both down. Shadow Refuge coming out from Happy Kid. They're going in for the res. Already Made just feared dodge rolls as he was getting kind of low, trying to get the res.
Oh,
this
there's
is a battle,
that
but
necro
the
downstate
damage from OPN is so much. OPN probably going to be taken out here as H-Man will get back into this fight. I think that was very poor opening coming out from this Radioactive team. They sent one person to their home node, getting 2v1, taken down really quickly. I don't think they needed two people at the midpoint to 2v1 H-Man. H-Man able to stay alive for quite some time, as there's only one DPS member of this Radioactive team.
And it looks like H-Man now trying to decide whether or not he wants to cycle over to that waterfall node that you see on your screen as well here. Looks like we can actually see him actually deciding that he wants to go ahead and get into that. Looks like we're going to be seeing this waterfall fight get a little bit more in favor of the blue team here, as trick shotting is at about 40% HP if we look at it right now. Looks like H-Man trying to get some condis on him right now. Kodo following suit. Looks like Heba putting the grenade pressure down. Trick shotting is not looking good here. He only has poison on him for the time being, but in just a matter of time, he could be taken out. H-Man looking for him right now. It looks like we actually see a +1 from OPN as well coming in, but OPN already at 50% as Heba drops some pressure down on him. Wells come out from OPN. H-Man caught in the middle of them, and he gets pressured here. Looks like he's going to have H-Man is going to have to try to pull out here, as he is at about 25% health with only Fear Me left in his arsenal.
Yeah.
However,
Trick shotting was taken down. He did get the res, but take a look over at the core. I do want to point out Ready-Made coming off respawn, going to get that cap, or at least the decap over there. OPN still in the downstate at the waterfall. Health pool-wise, just really staggered respawns coming out from Radioactive. This is not looking good for them whatsoever. Almost a 100-point lead, starting out in this game. No points whatsoever coming out for Radioactive.
Yeah, a lot of these team fights have been extremely close. However, blue team just always winning those downstate fights, able to get off the cleave a little bit quicker than that of the blue team here. Booty Bakery taking a lot of that there. It looks like because of this, however, blue team is going to have a lot of momentum, and they're going to be coming into Quarry pretty strong here. Mime already getting something going against Ready Made here. We actually see a couple of members of blue team sliding over, as well as red team tries to get over on staggered respawns, coming over to support their teammates. But if blue team can really crowd this up and put some pressure down, they're going to be able to hold them at this point for quite some time as they hold this 2-cap. It looks like red team deciding to go over there and try to all in that. It doesn't look like anybody from the red team, as you can see on the minimap, is trying to really do anything to get over to any other point. They're just trying to win this fight here. And OPN already in downstate, so not looking too good for them as they come in once again staggered.
Yeah, still looks like Genian is taken into the downstate here. Not looking good once again for Radioactive. That opening split, the 1-2-2, just didn't work out for them, as that really allowed this Booty Bakery team to start out with a 100-point lead for the most part. Now they're holding on to this 2-cap, and they have all 5 of their members over at the quarry. And look at the staggered respawns coming out for Radioactive. They're constantly at a disadvantage numbers-wise, as we have OPN finally making his way over here, but Ready Made under a lot of heat. Looks like he is probably going to be taken into the downstate. Ooh, Lich coming out from... Looks like OPN Crisis is going to get bannered back into this fight. Still looking really strong for Booty Bakery.
Yeah, OPN right now trying to get some cleave off with this Lich here, but he is just immobilized. There's so much pressure being dropped on him right now. Looks like blue team trying to peel out here. OPN trying to follow with some damage, but there's just too much soft CC on him, so he's not going to be able to really get much going for him. With that Lich here, Hiba trying to turn around and get some pressure down as well, but red team is all over Hiba now. He's going to have to peel out very, very shortly if he hopes to survive this. It's not looking too good for him here.
Yeah, it looks like Ready Made expecting Happy Kid to come try and get the decap. We do see the rest of Radioactive making a push out of their home node, trying to get to the midpoint, but a great stand coming out from Booty Bakery, not allowing them for them to even get there. Crisis able to get onto the point, gets the decap. OPN taken down in the process, so between the points, it looks like the cleave going to come out for Booty Bakery, able to get the full kill. So Ganian's going to be taken down as well. So despite them getting the decap on mid, they are going to lose 2 of their members. That's really going to hurt them for the upcoming fights that we're going to see.
Yeah, and we can actually see on the mid fight here, on this mid fight, we actually see as we slide over, trick shotting already being brought down, blue team crowding all over him, getting some damage on him as well. We actually see he's just going to be left to basically bleed out here. Blue team looking pretty comfortable here. They're just saying, you know what, we don't even really care about this right now. We're just going to bleed them out, have them more staggered than they even need to be here. Happy Kid trying to get some damage down on Crisis here as blue team does start capping out that graveyard once again, we actually see Crisis taken down, and we can actually see Ready Made in a similar state right now. Red team just not looking too good right now. Booty Bakery is all over them here with all the momentum in the world here. And, you know, just like you said before, it was all about that opener, getting that 4v5, winning that fight at Waterfall, and just getting things going from that point on and just snowballing at that stage. I mean, this is really looking like what Absurd does.
Yeah, over a 200-point lead coming out right now for this Booty Bakery team. Not looking good at all as Ready Made and Crisis both fully dead. OPN taking down state. That is going to be huge staggered respawns. If they want to regroup, they're going to have to wait at least like 20 to 30 seconds to get back, and they're going to have to give them the 3 cap. It looks like they are going to try and regroup. We see trick shotting, and it looks like that was Ganyan going to be pulling back into the base here. Exactly what they need to do to regroup. That is just what I was saying, but they're going to have to wait a little bit here for all members to come off a respawn. Going to allow Booty Bakery to get over a 350 or 250 point lead, excuse me, and looking really solid for them. Probably going to be taking this game number 2 and moving into the semifinals as they do take the gate down.
And one thing we saw actually last week in the ESL with Cade actually was running that Sigil of Bloodlust. When you're really getting things going and snowballs happen, and you see some people deciding for that Sigil of Bloodlust. We actually see Happy Kid opting for that Sigil here as well, and he does have 16 stacks already, so you can really see the dominance at play there. It looks like a ton of damage being dropped on Red Lord, and that will be that. I mean, really no ability for them to really get too much defensively out of that game there, or out of that play there. So, you know, obviously some dominance being displayed by Booty Bakery in that game too. Not the game we were expecting after that 499 to 501 finish on Forest, but this Booty Bakery team moving on to the Final Four looking pretty solid right now.
Yeah, definitely. So a great game coming out for them, able to basically crush Radioactive right from the get-go. Like I said, that opening split can really define how a game progresses from the first, the opening minutes to the final minutes of it, and it really seemed to just favor Booty Bakery from then on out as they were able to take that quarry node right at the beginning of the game and kind of snowball from then on out. So really good game. Props, credit to them for being able to take that game number 2 in a stylish fashion and moving on into the semifinals, looking really strong. Definitely the underdog, seeing as they did beat Apex, then they beat Radioactive. We didn't expect them to get that far, but credit, all credit to them. They did an excellent job of getting this far.